The pumpkin spice latte is so overrated and so overhyped. What started as a fun seasonal drink has spiraled into a full-blown cultural craze, with people now spending over $500 million a year on pumpkin spice products. And yes, it all began with a single small latte. Let's be real though. Does this fall obsession actually live up to the hype? Or are we all just sipping on a trend that's way past its prime? Interestingly, pumpkin spice has roots in early American history, with settlers cooking up pumpkin dishes as far back as the 1600s. But it wasn't until Starbucks unleashed the pumpkin spice latte in 2003 that fall officially became pumpkin spice latte season. Thanks to the rise of social media and millennials' love for all things Instagrammable, the pumpkin spice latte turned into an autumn icon. Before we unpack why the pumpkin spice latte might not deserve all the attention, let's take a closer look at how this pumpkin-powered frenzy even became a cultural phenomenon, and why it's still going strong. Ready to sip on the real story? Let's dive into latte history. History of the pumpkin spice latte. Believe it or not, the concept of pumpkin spice is not a modern invention. It's a journey that dates back to the early days of American history. When European settlers first arrived in the New World, they encountered pumpkins, a fruit native to North America. These vibrant gourds had been a staple in Native American cuisine for thousands of years, and it didn't take long for the settlers to incorporate them into their own cooking. Fast forward to 1621, at what is now considered the first Thanksgiving. And guess what? Pumpkin was likely on the menu. Early American colonists whipped up a crude pumpkin pie by hollowing out pumpkins, filling them with milk, honey, and spices, and then baking them in hot ashes. Voila! This gave birth to what we now know as pumpkin pie spice, a delightful blend of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, and sometimes allspice. Zooming ahead to 1796, we find the first cookbook written by an American cookery, which featured a recipe for pumpkin pudding. This dish was basically a pumpkin custard served in a crust, an early version of the pumpkin pie we have today. By the 1930s, spice companies like McCormick were selling pre-mixed pumpkin pie spice blends, making it easier for home cooks to recreate that distinctive fall flavor. This commercialization marked a crucial step in pumpkin spice's journey from a home cooking staple to a cultural hallmark. Let's jump to 2003, the year that changed pumpkin spice forever. At Starbucks headquarters in Seattle, the coffee giant's product development team was on a quest for a new fall seasonal beverage. After seeing success with winter favorites like peppermint mocha, they aimed to replicate that triumph for autumn. Peter Dukes, who was then the director of Espresso Americas for Starbucks, led the team in developing this new seasonal beverage, taking a rather unconventional approach. Instead of starting with flavors, they focused on the feeling they wanted to evoke, capturing the essence of fall in a cup, with coziness, warmth, and nostalgia. The team explored various fall flavors, chocolate, caramel, cinnamon, but kept circling back to pumpkin. As Dukes later reflected, there was something special about pumpkin. Could we combine pumpkin with espresso? This sparked an intense period of experimentation, including pouring espresso shots over pumpkin pies to find the perfect balance of flavor. After months of testing, they finally landed on a recipe that blended pumpkin spice sauce containing pumpkin puree and spices. In the fall of 2003, Starbucks launched a test run of the pumpkin spice latte in just 100 stores across Vancouver and Washington, D.C. The response? Overwhelmingly positive. Dukes and his team were stunned by the enthusiasm. They could barely keep up with the demand. Encouraged by this success, Starbucks rolled out the pumpkin spice latte nationwide in the fall of 2004. It was an instant hit, quickly becoming Starbucks' most popular seasonal beverage, with millions sold each fall. Ironically, the original pumpkin spice latte didn't even contain any real pumpkin. It was just using the spices and flavorings of a pumpkin pie. It wasn't until 2015, in response to consumer demand for natural ingredients, that Starbucks updated the recipe to include real pumpkin puree. This change in 2015 marked a significant moment in the pumpkin spice latte history, showcasing the power of consumer influence and the growing demand for transparency in food ingredients. It also coincided with the pumpkin spice latte's soaring popularity, solidifying its status as a cultural icon. Now that we've unraveled the history of the pumpkin spice latte, let's take a sweet leap into how this drink has evolved over the years, transforming from a seasonal delight into an often overhyped obsession. PSL evolution. Over the years, the pumpkin spice latte didn't just remain a popular coffee drink, it evolved into a cultural juggernaut. Originally introduced as a single seasonal offering at Starbucks, it quickly blossomed into an entire family of pumpkin spice products. From pumpkin spice frappuccinos to pumpkin spice cold brew, and even pumpkin spice cake pops, the pumpkin spice latte fad shifted from a solitary menu item into a full-fledged seasonal movement. And you know what they say, success breeds imitation. Soon, every coffee chain worth its beans jumped on the pumpkin spice latte bandwagon. Dunkin' Donuts, Tim Hortons, and even local cafes began crafting their own versions of the pumpkin spice latte, making it clear that this drink was no longer just a Starbucks thing. It was everywhere. Initially a cultural current in the United States, the pumpkin spice latte soon made waves worldwide. Starbucks now offers the pumpkin spice latte in nearly 50 countries. From Tokyo to London, the pumpkin spice latte has become an international emblem of fall, a cozy, warm taste that unites coffee lovers across the globe. But the cultural sensation didn't stop there. The rise of social media in the 2010s propelled pumpkin spice latte to new heights. Hashtags like APSL and pumpkin spice began trending every fall, with Instagram feeds overflowing with artfully staged photos of the iconic Starbucks cup. Suddenly, the pumpkin spice latte wasn't just a drink. It became a status symbol, signaling that you were in the loop with the latest trends. All of this adds up to some serious bucks. By 2015, Forbes estimated that the pumpkin spice flavor was driving a $500 million market, with some sources now estimating that number at a staggering $600 million. A major accomplishment as the pumpkin spice latte grew from a simple seasonal treat into a powerhouse of the economy. Yet as the pumpkin spice craze surged, so did the backlash. The pumpkin spice latte became a punchline, a representation of what some called basic culture. It was mocked in memes, derided in editorials, and often associated with a particular consumer stereotype, typically young, female, and eager to embrace trends. But here's the kicker. Despite the ridicule, or possibly because of it, the popularity of pumpkin spice has continued to rise. It's become a cultural touchstone, a marker of the changing seasons, as inevitable as the falling leaves. That said, how did we get here? How did a seasonal latte progress into such a massive cultural phenomenon? Let's delve into the frothy tale of how the pumpkin spice latte profoundly impacted fall culture and turned cozy vibes into a must-have experience. Cultural impact of the pumpkin spice latte. Clearly, the pumpkin spice latte has made an indelible imprint on American culture, influencing everything from marketing strategies to social behavior. It's even played a pivotal role in defining modern American identity. Perhaps the biggest cultural shift brought by the pumpkin spice latte is how it has redefined autumn itself. For many, the release of the pumpkin spice latte marks the official start of fall, sometimes even more than the changing leaves or cooler weather. This profound shift didn't happen by accident. Starbucks didn't just launch a drink. They effectively branded an entire season, creating a Pavlovian response where merely spotting a cup of pumpkin spice latte signals one thing: snug vibes and sweater weather are here. This association is so powerful that it has altered how many Americans perceive and celebrate the onset of autumn. What's even more impressive is Starbucks' marketing mastermind. By making the pumpkin spice latte available only for a limited time each year, they've created a must-have urgency that has coffee lovers buzzing. This get-it-while-you-can mentality fuels significant excitement. The anticipation leading up to the pumpkin spice latte's annual release has flourished into a cultural spectacle, with fans eagerly speculating about release dates and new flavor variations. This savvy strategy has not only boosted sales, but has also set the gold standard for other brands, prompting them to scramble to replicate this seasonal frenzy and capture that hype. In addition, the magic of the pumpkin spice latte goes beyond its limited availability. The flavors themselves tap into something deeper: nostalgia. Pumpkin, cinnamon, nutmeg. These aren't just ingredients. They're reminders of Thanksgiving dinners, family gatherings, and the warmth of home. Each sip is a heartwarming trip down memory lane, offering a moment of comfort in an otherwise busy, fast-paced world. As you can see, the pumpkin spice latte isn't just a drink, it's a feeling, a symbol of fall's arrival, and a status icon for those in the know. Its impact has set the bar for seasonal marketing and cultural trends, and as each year passes, the phenomenon only gets stronger. The PSL twist. So, is the pumpkin spice latte overrated and overhyped? Well, in many ways, you bet it is. The cultural frenzy surrounding this drink has skyrocketed beyond what you'd expect for just a flavored coffee. However, here's the twist. Being overrated and overhyped isn't always a bad thing. The pumpkin spice latte has brewed itself into the heart of American culture, sprinkling joy into the lives of millions and creating those warm, fuzzy shared experiences we all enjoy. Plus, it's driven some serious economic buzz. It's ignited conversations about taste, consumer culture, and marketing that reach far beyond that spicy sweet cup. Maybe the real question isn't whether the pumpkin spice latte is overrated, but what this wild hype reveals about us as a society. In the end, whether you're a die-hard pumpkin spice latte fan or a pumpkin spice skeptic, one thing's for sure, its impact is undeniably substantial. So sip or skip, is the pumpkin spice latte a delicious fall tradition, an overrated marketing scheme, or a bit of both? Let us know in the comments. Are you team pumpkin spice latte or team skeptic? And check out our other videos for more foodie insights.